I did not care for The Godfather.
What?
Did not care for The Godfather.
How can you even say that?
Didn't like it.
Peter, it's so good. It's like the perfect movie.
This is what everyone always said.
Don't ever go against the family, Jerry.
Whenever they say,
Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, you never see... Robert Duvall!
No, fine actor. Did not like the movie.
Why not?
Couldn't get into it.
Explain yourself. What didn't you like about it?
It insists upon itself, Lois.
What?
It insists upon itself.
What does that even mean?
Because it has a valid point to make. It's insistent.
Your wish that this child be baptized?
It is.
It takes forever getting in. You spend like 6.5 hours, and then I can't even get through. I can't even finish the movie. I've never even seen the ending.
You've never seen the ending?
Godfather.
Godfather.
Yes.
Well, how can you say you don't like it if you haven't even given it a chance?
I agree with Stewie. It's not really fair.
I have tried on 3 separate occasions to get through it.
You've just been marginalized.
I get to the scene where all the guys are sitting around on the easy chairs.
Yeah, it's a great scene. I love that
It's
scene.
been noted in every annal.
I have no idea what they're talking about. It's like they're speaking a different language. That's where I lose interest and I go away.
They're speaking Italian.
The language they're speaking is a language of subtlety, something you don't understand.
I love the money pit. That is my answer to that statement.
Exactly.
Well, there you go.
Whatever.
I like that movie, too.
Welcome to the Cinema Club.
What's up, all you avid listeners out there? Welcome back to yet another highly anticipated review from your boys here at R&R. As cinema junkies, there are certain films that are so ingrained in our culture that they demand to be seen. There's just certain things you can't call yourself a movie buff without seeing. Movies like Star Wars, like Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, and the list goes on. But we have a confession to make. Until this last week, we had never seen the timeless classic, The Godfather. We know we let you down, but we will make this right and ensure that something this irresponsible never happens again. Well, there's no use in crying over spilled milk, as they say. Dang it! Bob, can you come clean up this milk? No, we're shooting. Can you... Right now, yes, please. As they also say about spilled milk, you're all good unless you spilled Chuck Norris's milk, cause then you're gonna die. As always, our review will be spoiler free. This week we watched the mobster of all mobster movies. This iconic film has been duplicated, spoofed, and referenced in countless cinematic interpretations over the years. The 1973 Best Picture winner, The Godfather, which basically set the precedent for what mobster movies would look like going forward. You guys want to know what we thought about the movie? And you asked this on the day of my daughter's wedding? This film tells the incredible story of the Corleone family. No, Corleone is not a pasta. Actually, the Corleone family are an Italian mafia dynasty ruling territories in New York in the 1940s. The film witnesses the handing down of the family business from father to reluctant son. We mostly follow Michael Corleone, played by a baby-faced Al Pacino, a war hero who likes to live his life straight, separating himself from the family business. However, circumstances prevent his desired plans, as this unfolding puts him in the very shoes he fought so hard to get away from. Most of us know a lot about this film, even if we've never seen it. It has become a resounding part of our cinema culture. So does it stand the test of time? Is it still a classic today as it was back in '72? Well, we gave The Godfather a legendary,
Too hot to handle.
Legendary.
Legends never die.
Legendary!
It's a legend.
Or 5 out of 5, little tiny baby wine glasses. This is our first time seeing this film, and we can clearly say that it is still just as relevant today as it was 48 years ago. With a 3-hour-plus runtime, the progression of the story seems a bit slow, as this film takes its time depicting the Corleone family business and introducing its characters. A lot of pieces seem like they're unnecessary, but as the film unfolds, we see that each of these pieces fit right into this ever-unfolding story. The film shares many tones and films with 2019's The Irishman, including its incredibly long runtime. And now we know why every Scorsese film has to be 3 hours long. However, we weren't banging our head against the walls in boredom. Instead, we just kept finding ourselves sucked into this story. We definitely spotted a few plot holes, along with several mistakes in the editing that would seem pretty obvious. But even still, this story, and especially these characters, just keep pulling us back for yet another half hour. And then when you think you're done, bam! It pulls you back for another half hour. And right when you think you're out, bam! Another plot turn hits you smack dab in the face. We all know that a great story is nothing without great characters and great actors to portray them. The film is stacked with characters, and even more stacked with the A-list stars that make this film what it is. From the opening scene, we begin to connect with these characters and find ourselves rooting for the villain. Wait, the Corleones are the villains, right? A bobbity boopy. The film definitely blends the lines between protagonist and antagonist, and it does it well. We find ourselves loving all of these characters and the story arcs they follow. They each have their own development that doesn't feel skewed. We get plenty of time to see each piece fall right into place. Kind of like a thing with all different kinds of pieces that you then put together, and they make like a thing comprised of all the pieces that you put together. We almost didn't recognize the talent in this film. I mean, we didn't start seeing them until almost 30 years later. Freaking millennials.
Get off my lawn.
This film ranges from babyface Al Pacino to James Caan with a fro, Robert Duvall, who apparently has blonde hair, and Diane Keaton before she had glasses. And don't forget the legend himself, Marlon Brando, who we might add is a force to be reckoned with. Brando won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in this film, and Pacino, Caan, and Duvall all received Best Supporting Actor nominations. We also can't forget to mention the director, writer, producer, Francis Ford Coppola. No, it's not a kind of cheese, but a man himself. He took this film from book to big screen and was also nominated for Best Director. Takes a very distinct tone, giving it a sort of suave, classy feel. The effects are a little dated, but still gives a good portrayal. There are tons of shadows in every scene, and sometimes it's a bit too much. Not to mention, there's a ton of editing and sound mistakes throughout the film, which is a bit surprising for, Academy Award Best Picture winning movie. Nevertheless, they still somehow pull it off, with a great score that really builds the suspense while giving you that true Italian mobster feel. It's a Godfather-o! Look, unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard about The Godfather at some point over the years. And let us tell you firsthand that it's as good as everyone says. We know it sounds cliche, but this film is timeless. With a legendary rating, we highly recommend The Godfather. Make sure to clear your schedule first and sit back ready to enjoy this classic bit of cinematic history. Alright guys, that's all we have for today. As always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you never side with anyone over the family again, or you'll be sleeping with the fishes. Don't forget, it's always a beautiful day in the cinema hood.
Pepper Brooks.